Welcome back, YouTube. I am Matt. Welcome to just another drop in the bucket. Welcome back, YouTube. I am Matt, and this is just another drop in the bucket. Today we have the new Asvine number 8 stub nib, and I'm reviewing just it, even though it's in the new popular C80. I've already done a review on the C80s. They're an awesome pen for a number 8 pen. They're a converter pen, so they're easy to clean out. They're easy to refill, and they provide a good flow versus, if you get kind of a vacuum that isn't working properly, or maybe your piston's gotten a little bit of air in its system or something else along the lines. You can always come back to a converter pen and it's going to work for you 99% of the time. So here before me, I have my entire collection of other stub nibs and pens. So respectively, we have the new number 8 stub nib in a C80 Galaxy, and it is absolutely beautiful and shimmering as the rest are. It's a little bit dark in this picture, but I'll be sure to post a good picture on the front image for you. Just below it, we have a TWSBI Eco, and I'm writing in that with a pigment brown. That's my coffee themed pen. Below that, down here, we have a Divine with a Yovo in it. I don't remember whether the TWSBIs have a Schmidt or a Yovo themselves, but I know they do some smoothing in-house compared to others, but almost every Yovo and Schmidt nib is smoothed out to a considerable degree, no matter what source it came from. So those are both really nice. And down here we have kind of an oddball choice. We have my shorter Model J, and it has a medium stub nib in it, which is kind of about the equivalent of saying a 0.8 millimeter stub nib. Now, these are all kind of interesting choices. Of course, especially the last one, throwing that in the review, just as kind of a comparison as to line variation and flair that you get with pretty much no effort added to any of these things, just as you're going about your writing. Of course, the objective of the stub nib is to give you a broad downstroke and a very thin cross stroke. And if you're writing in any kind of script, you're going to get somewhere that has any variation of from one to the other in all of your loops. So, how does it write? That is what we're getting at. And give me just a second to clear out some of these other pens, and I will bring us to the writing portion of this sample. I've already pre-written it, so we don't have to worry about any more writing time. Escape a pen. Sorry there, folks. I'm going to move these out of the way, and you want to know how the new Asvine number 8 stub writes. Let's see if I can get this in focus for you well enough that you could really see the flare and it pop. Alright, so I think this gives us a pretty clear view of what it looks like. Now up here, all this, even the title, and up to that line right there, is all the Asvine C80 number 8 stub nib. And you could see I definitely did not put a regular ink in it. It is a sheening ink, and it is in fact the Endless Alchemy Candy Sea ink, which is one of my favorite brands, and that is one of my favorite inks for blue. It has a nice red sheen to the bright blue ink. So I didn't give it an easy task of writing fresh out of the box. I didn't pre-clean it or anything else. I've taken it out of its box and I inked it up, and I've seen how it writes. This is how I like to review pens, the out of the box experience. If it required more work, yes, it probably could work better if I cleaned out the factory goobly gop from people handling it, but most people don't want to take a full day to put soapy water in, flush it out, and then let it dry out overnight. Most people just want to ink up and get going. So that's the way I like to review. Now, next to it right here, we're going to see a small sample of the Yovo from the Divine that I have, and that's just to show a number 6 stub nib writing, also very smooth and very flowing. And we can see that right down here. This is the pen and its own special sampling just to compare with. And you can see it too has a similar amount of smear, maybe not the exact same, but close. And you can see it's got about a similar amount of flair to it. It has a little bit of broad and a much thinner across. So much more visible here on my pound sign, and pretty much up in here you can kind of see it as I'm writing stub out. Sorry. The comparison of the number 4 Twisby nib is kind of the next kind of. It's not the same size. It's not even comparable really, but it actually does put out a near enough, if not slightly more ink than the others do, because Twisby's just put out. They always perform, even their ecos, which I didn't really want to believe at first, but they do still pop up with, I believe, an equivalent amount of flair. They have a nice broad downstroke, and their cross strokes are nice and thin, so still has that stub flair. Lastly, that Model J, which is kind of equivalent about a 0.8 millimeter stub, so it is starting already kind of narrow, more like a medium, and then it is thinning out to a pencil thin cross stroke. So you can see that very clearly here where it says stub. That kind of is your best bet. Some of the other lines they're in there. You can see it, but it's a little bit less visible. So overall, how do I like the new C80 stub? I love it. I love the new Asvine stubs. I think they perform absolutely beautifully. And if you are looking for a new number 8 nib, and any of them that they're releasing any number of models past even this C80 that I'm reviewing today. If you like that long nib feel on your pen, and you don't like to be that close to the page, and you like the size of it and the bulk of the pens that they're releasing with the number 8 pens, it's a whole different feel. It feels more premium. It feels larger in your hand. It's more substantial. It gives you a little bit better control sometimes, especially for us people with larger hands. It's going to help you maybe feel not so close to the page and cramped up. So that may help you out there if you have larger hands. Overall, I would say the new Asvine number 8 stub nib is definitely a positive choice if you're looking for an easy way to fill that stub-shaped hole in your Asvine nib collection. Folks, have a good day. Tell me in the comments, do you have a number 8 yet? And do you have a number 8 stub? Shh.